All right. As I try to begin every single lecture, are there any questions about the setup of that table view that you guys want me to kind of just review a little bit? Any pieces there that you want to make sure of? You guys are good? Okay. So it's time to start looking at the API calls. So let's click over here to Chrome. Click on members up there. All right, so we need to have that number, that key. So what I want you to do is triple click on that key and then copy it, because we're going to need that number here when we start doing stuff. Click on, perfect. Click on API up at the top. Okay, and we're just going to go with the current weather data, api.doc right here. Do you see it? Cool. All right, so all of this, you guys, if you want to get to an API, you've got to just read. When I was trained almost 4 years ago now to learn Swift, we did an API through Flickr Photos. It was one of the most confusing APIs to find. I think they purposely chose it. I mean, it was literally a solid hour of reading to find the API key and the correct calls and all that kind of stuff. It just happens that way, okay? You've got to have that little bit of tenacity, that little bit of desire. Hey, I really want to make Google Calendar sync with my app. You've got to read through the documentation. As you get older and older, as a student, you're going to read more and more, okay? So coming here down to example of API call. API open weather, original data, 2.5 weather, Q London. I shouldn't have had you copy before because I'm going to have you copy this one again. Let's see if it, actually, let's see if it, click on it. Let's see if it'll open up. Oh, it does, good. And there's the data. Now, take a look at the URL for a second. So, samples, openweather.org, data 2.5, weather, question for London. Do you notice that it appended and app ID equals? Okay. Back up here for a second, tell you about the internet. Everybody else hopefully knows about URL, Universal Resource Locator, okay, in the HTTP protocol. The idea of this is that you are sending some parameters to that website in which it processes. That's where that Q equals London, comma UK, and app ID equals. Those are two parameters that they're setting. For some strange reason, they called the city Q. Wouldn't it have been nice had it been like location equals, as the parameter name that you're going to receive is location equals. Now, it makes sense to have called the parameter app ID, okay, because that is your key. That's that key ID number that you needed to be able to call. Go ahead and get rid of that and app ID for a second and then hit return. Let's see what happens if I don't pass that. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? If through the header you don't pass the number that they're looking for to validate that you're fine, hey, that's an invalid API key. Please see the Open Weather Frequently Asked Questions for more info. Okay? I'll tell you right now, the first time I did this, I tried going to this API without actually signing up, and I just pasted up there, and that's what I got. And that's when I started to go like, oh, wait a second, I might actually have to sign up for this. To be able to get this data, they might actually want my information. Okay, so you can just do a Command-Z undo or the back button, whichever one. Okay, so now we have that information about London. Pause there for a second to make sure that you have any questions. Do you guys get the headers being passed? Do you guys get the idea of the parameter? Okay, so triple click up on the URL and let's copy that. All right, now let's go to our code and let's start playing here a little bit. Okay, so click, yep, there you go. All right, so when the search button is pressed, the very first thing we want to do is we want to get the city that they put in the search bar. Okay, so let's do that. So let's do a let city equals. Now, actually, it'd probably be better if we do an if let. Put an if in front of the let. Let's do it the right way that Apple wants us to do it. So if let city equals, and do text field dot text. And then open squiggly brace and hit return. So this is the way that Apple, this is one of the ways that Apple wants you to actually take care of optionals. Remember how in programming 1 we just kind of willy-nilly unwrapped the optional with the exclamation point? We just said, hey, give it to me now even if it fails. What this idea is if I'm able to grab data out of that text field, that's when I want to do the stuff inside the if statement. And if it fails, what I can do is I can put an else there, go down to the squiggly brace on line 27 for me, hit return, do else, squiggly brace, and let's just do a print error. Perfect. Error. Nice. That's technically one of the ways that Apple wants us to deal with the optionals the correct way, okay, is to lay the city is able to be gotten, so create that city. All right, so now what I want you to do is let's create a function call. We're going to call get JSON data. So get JSON, all capitals, JASON. JSON is almost always all capitals, and then data with a capital D, lowercase ATA, open parenthesis, and let's send it city. Yep, perfect. Okay, it's going to give us an error. It's going to say, hey, what's this get JSON data? Well, we haven't written it yet. Okay. Go down to line 31, hit return for me, and let's create the function. Function, FUNC, space, get JSON data, open parenthesis, underscore, space, city, colon, capital S string, arrow to the right, open squiggly brace, hit return. Okay, and so now that error should go away because now it understands that identifier of city. Make sense? Anybody have any questions so far? Getting there. Okay, next thing, inside of that get JSON data, I want you to do a let URL string space equals quote paste. Nope, sorry, paste. Now I want you to paste in that URL that we copied a little bit ago. Okay, and then hit return, and let's do let URL space equals capital URL, capital U, there you'll see a third one. Oh, nope, delete back. Capital URL. Keep going down a little bit. Now that's there we go, that one. Open parenthesis. And we want to create, keep going down, 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 keep going, keep going. So there we go with the string. And let's call URL string. And then an exclamation point at the end of the line. Okay, so the idea here is we create a string based upon that URL that we saw inside of the Google Chrome. All right. Once we have a string, we then pass that string to the URL initializer, creating a URL. There's a difference between just a string and a URL inside of computer science. And the final piece here that we're going to do and then print it is we don't always want London here. So can you come back into this string right here? Yep, perfect. I want you to double click. Nice. Do a slash, backslash, open parenthesis. Okay. Close parenthesis right away. Now go inside there, and what we want to do is we want city, the word city. Because we don't always want it to go to London. We want it to go whatever city was entered. Yeah.
You still have the comma UK after.
Oh, yeah. Get rid of that comma UK. Thank you. Good call. Okay. Everybody with us? Okay. Final thing, and then let's see it. No, let's. Is that good? That's probably good. You guys are. It's early in the morning. Why don't you guys code everything that we coded there? We'll come back and see it.